Okay. There are a lot of things that I think I learned from the Mindy Project pilot that I read. Um, the description, there's like a lot of descriptions that she does, that the writer does, about the characters that are really on point that I like. They're um, they're very descriptive, but not in a way that's too overbearing, which is something that I think I struggle with because I want to describe things in a way like I write fiction, and it's not the same thing. You have to be concise, but still creative in how you do it, and that's something that I really struggle with because I feel like if I describe something too short, that it's just boring and not as descriptive as I can be. But I really like how, just in the writing in general, how the main character, Mira, describes herself by comparing herself to rom-coms. It's a good thing to use to describe because it's easily accessible. It tells us exactly what kind of girl Mira is without being too specific, but it's also a very creative way of doing it. Instead of just like listing all her qualities, it's a intricate part to her character and how she carries herself, and it's something that can be used to define her throughout the entire series without two words that describe her instead, which is something I would do, just use two words instead. So this was a much more creative way to do it. There was a lot of good humor, not too on the nose or forced. I feel like when I'm trying to make a joke, it sounds funny in my head, but then I reread it, and it's not the way I want to come across, or the character just sounds like a jerk. So humor is very hard to work with, but very important. I thought the script was fast-paced. It had a nice flow. Just the way like the scenes bounce off one another, like when Mira's pager goes off during her date. It bounces from the car to the street to the elevator to the labor delivery room floor in a way that wasn't too jarring or in a way that didn't make sense. It was a nice flow. You followed the character's movement, and she was just in enough scenes that we understood it was purposeful. It wasn't just to fill the pages. I also like the way I talked about this a little bit, but like for an example of how she describes characters when she states face claims. So like on page 20, when she says a character looks like Chris Colfer with no singing ability. That's hilarious, first of all. And it's really good for me to get in the image of like, oh, this is like a dainty boy with like porcelain skin and a gay, obviously. Basically the Glee character without the singing ability. But it's a great way to describe your characters by using face claims that people can look up and recognize. Even if you've never seen Glee, if you just know what Chris Colfer looks like, it's spot on. But great relations. I like that. And also, last but not least, just the way she puts in the important aspects of Mira's character and how serious she can be about her job profession and how she does care about it. She has a great description of her attitude and what a great doctor she can be on 35, just through her being serious about delivering this baby, and like, oh wow, Mira's kind of dumb, and she compares her entire life to rom-coms, but she's a badass doctor. She's a badass, she's a badass, what the hell is it called? Delivering babies. Oh my God. She's really good at what she does. And I think that's important to her character, so that we take her seriously, and that she's not just this romanticized screw up. So I really liked this script. I think I could apply a lot of what I've discussed to my own. It's still a learning process, but reading things like this and seeing movies and TV shows played out, I start to notice things where I'm like, oh, like I can apply that to my own script. I can try that to see if that works, or at least I can take advice to things that will make the script better and have better flow and characterization. So